Well, well, well. Despite LaMelo Ball breaking records, representing the Hornets in the All-Star game, being 20 years old and accomplishing everything he has done, Mitch Kupchak had the nerve to say that Gordon Hayward is the best player on the Hornets, and that him being out in the recent games is the reason why they're losing. Not because of bad defense, not because of lack of team identity, not because of James Borrego and his horrible rotations, but Gordon Hayward being out is the reason why they've been losing. Pathetic. And I'll chime in.
Whatever that next step is?
Yeah, I think we're a little bit ahead of schedule from what I would have imagined or discussed maybe a year ago. And I don't think we're dramatically ahead of schedule. We're still a very young team. Unfortunately, our best player the last 2 years, has missed a lot of time. That's Gordon Hayward. And we're not going to really advance without Gordon. So it's important that he gets back. And when he gets back, he works his way back into the lineup, gets his feel back, his touch, his confidence. And at that point, even though we are a young team, we've seen it with teams in the past. We saw it last year with Atlanta, right? If you get on a roll at the right time, then maybe you can win a series. Maybe you can win 2 series. Generally speaking, I wouldn't say that we're a team that's penciled in to be the conference championships every year. We're young. We're still getting better. Is that next year or is that the year after? I'm not sure. You really can't rush these things. And if you try to, you could make a mistake. Give up on youth, give up on talent, bring in a veteran on a big contract. It doesn't work out, and you're kind of now stuck, right? But to sit back and just watch, that's not the way to do it either. So you do kind of have to mosey along.
What's good with it, everyone? This is RawTruth Media giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. And well. After all that LaMelo has accomplished, that he had to overcome, you're talking about a young man who doesn't really have the keys to the offense yet. Still made an all-star game. Tied for the youngest to have the most points at the age of 20. Tied Kobe's record. Won the Kia MVP of the month for February. And despite all those accomplishments, Mitch Kupchak and his ego wanted to go on radio syndicates and say Gordon Hayward is the best player of the Hornets and state that the Hornets have been losing games because Gordon Hayward's been out. Now, what type of buffoonery are you talking about, Mitch? It doesn't make sense at all. Gordon Hayward is a decent player. I'll give him that. But he's not a star. Gordon Hayward wants to slow down the offense. He doesn't want to run. And when he's not scoring, he doesn't want to play defense. That's who he is. And you fools gave him $130 million instead of using that money for need. Now, if the Charlotte Hornets would have got a legitimate big man, let's say they overpaid for one, even though they would have overpaid for a legit big man, it's understandable because it's a main weakness. We all know in small market teams, you got to overpay for talent, but not for no Gordon Hayward. He's not the type of player to do that. And scratch that. When you draft someone that high, like they did drafting LaMelo Ball number 3 overall, you don't overspend anyway. You try to build around your young players. Today, I just got a notification that the Hornets sent Book Night to the Greensboro Soul. Really? You're going to send your 11th overall pick, who has been dominating the G League this whole time, and you try to send him to the Greensboro Swarm. Why? That's not going to help him out. What he's going to do again, he's going to drop 25 to 30 points again per game. The G League is easy for him. But because management and James Borrego especially wants to cater to veteran players and not give players like Book Knight and JT Thor some reps, they don't know what to do, and they're losing games. I'm in favor of development this year. The Hornets, they're fighting for a play-in spot or barely a playoff season. They're not going to get the 6th seed. You can scratch that off. They're not going to get that. I made a video last week talking about how the other teams who are either below the Hornets or kind of above the Hornets, they're just scratching the surface. You already know Brooklyn, who is the 8th seed right now, is going to go on a winning streak, especially when KD comes back. And the Celtics are doing better. Toronto's definitely catching their groove. Cleveland, I mean, they have something working. And many more teams. The Chicago Bulls, who are the number 2 seed right now, are doing it without Lonzo, Caruso, and Patrick Williams. Now, those 3 players are not the star players of the Bulls. We all know Levine and DeRozan are, but still, they're important players. And they're still winning games. And Miami Heat's doing what Miami Heat does. They have a system in place. They run the zone defense, actually, but the reason why their zone works is because it's been, patented and been passed down from years. Pat Riley did that. And now it's passed down to Eric Spoelstra. That's that Heat culture. A culture that the Hornets do not have at all. But if I ever wrote a book about how not to build a great team in the NBA, the picture I would show is Charlotte Hornets management and the Hornets logo. This is the most backwards organization around. And the Charlotte Hornets, they better think long and hard. If you treat LaMelo like you've been treating and think that he's going to just stay in Charlotte and that he's going to put up with your crap when it comes to free agency for him and he makes his decision, and if it's not with the Hornets, don't be surprised. I'm not saying it's set in stone. Maybe the Hornets could get a new coach and build this team around him. But until then, I give it a 50-50 chance. Charlotte's a great place, man. Great people out there, great atmosphere. Every time I visit Charlotte, it reminds me a little bit of Atlanta in some ways. That city needs a winning team. They've been dealing with losing for so long. And been fed with media rhetoric of hope and the culture, the system. F the system. It's not working. You mean the system that says cater to veteran players and shit on the young ones? The people in Charlotte finally have a franchise player that's bringing in money to the city, bringing a spotlight to the city, more TV games. And this is what you try to do, Hornets management. You know what I wanted to hear from Mitch Kupchak? I wanted to hear from him that LaMelo Ball proved a lot of people wrong. And that's why he's the best player on the team, because he has a will to win. and defying the odds. That's what I wanted to hear. But all I've heard on that little short clip audio interview is that no matter what, you want your golden child, your teacher's pet, Gordon Hayward, to be the face of the team still. Ain't nobody's buying Gordon Hayward's shoes or memorabilia, any of that. You could go around Charlotte and not see too many people with a Gordon Hayward jersey. You see more people with a Terry Rozier jersey than Gordon Hayward's. Shoot, I've seen folks with more P.J. Washington jerseys than Gordon Hayward's jersey. So that should tell you something. But you had the nerve to tell all of the fan base that he's the focal point, he's the face, and nobody else. And that's a load of crap. I can tell that the Hornets don't even use analytics enough. You know that Gordon Hayward gets injured a lot, and you're still playing him the most minutes of the team, up there with Terry Rozier. And you're wondering why his body keeps breaking down the way it does. I said before the season, do not play Gordon Hayward top minutes or he's going to really get injured a lot. And you see what's happening now. Because despite the jokes I may say about Gordon Hayward, I know that the Hornets do not have enough talent. So they need everybody healthy. And that's on the real. But despite looking at factual data, the Hornets' arrogance get in their way and they're making tough decisions. How about giving the minutes to your 20-year-old? How about doing that for starters? So the veterans don't have to worry about having their body broken down and just playing way too many minutes per game and getting exhausted and not playing defense. How about that? And before I roll, I got to address this. I was listening to Hornets Hive, and they were talking about LaMelo stands and throwing jabs. And the crazy part is, if you talk to most LaMelo fans, they're up front and saying they're not Charlotte Hornet fans. And they don't really care about your opinions about it. I know on this channel, we tell you that we're not Charlotte Hornet fans, but we want the Charlotte Hornets to do well because LaMelo's on the team. We keep it up front about it. One of the few channels that do. See, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to get subs. I'm a fan of LaMelo. If LaMelo was not on that team, I wouldn't be a fan of their team. I've been saying it for months. But he's on this team now. And I want the Hornets to win games. Because I don't want my favorite player to be a part of some losing team. But they were saying stuff on that show like, they couldn't name me any Bobcat players or Hornet players in the past. They don't really care. They are up front, meaning Hornet fans are saying, hey, we don't care about the Hornets, but we do want them to win. And leave it as that. But I just think it's funny that they will throw jabs at fans of LaMelo when it's the fans of LaMelo that's increasing their subscribers and viewership. But I think it's very funny that you mention LaMelo fans and not being real fans and all that stuff. They don't really care about that. But if you think that you can have the same type of success without LaMelo fans, look at the numbers. The numbers are not even close. Just keeping it real with y'all. This is RawTruth Media, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Peace and blessings, peace and love to everyone. Also, Coach Joe will be live today during the stream. So check that out. I'll provide the link in the description box as well as the comment section. Y'all have a blessed day, man. Life's too short. You got to live life to the fullest. Be blessed for what you have, not for what you don't have. And have a great day. I'm out.